everyone. Big news, awesome news. I'm so excited about this. You've asked for guests. There were so many great recommendations and I'm working on a lot of them. One of the requests was for Allison Weiss. Allison is an amazing musician and I think she would be a fantastic first guest. So next week I'm going to be sitting down with Allison. So what I want to know from you here in the comments of this video is, what do you want to know from Allison? Leave your questions for Allison below and I'll pick from them and her and I will have a chat. Who knows what we'll do? Maybe we'll give advice. I don't even know. It's a brand new world. Today I'm going to answer Juliet's question. Juliet says, how should I respond to microaggressions from my sister? It makes me really uncomfortable, but I don't know how to explain this to her. Whenever I try to tell her she's being homophobic, she gets defensive and claims I am lecturing her. This is a fucking great question. Here's why I'm very passionate about this question, because this happens all the time. People get defensive because they feel like they're a good person and you're just like, you're really pushing things. But here's the thing. You're upset. You're talking about these things because we live in a world where there are a lot of things that tell you you cannot have equal rights. You cannot have equal treatment, that you could be fired from your job. These are real fucking things and they affect you. Saying all of that very passionately at your sister's face is probably not the way to go, but those kind of ideas are what should be communicated to her. And if you can do it in a gentle and compassionate way, that's great. I actually think that this is a great conversation to have not in the heat of the moment. When you and your sister are getting along and you're doing something and you're just like on good terms, or at least you're not arguing, I think you say, you know what, listen, I know that you accept me for who I am, and I know that you get really frustrated when I bring up things that bother me, and I'm happy to have a conversation with you and find out, is there a better way to talk about these things? You know, like, I'm open. I just want to know that like we can hear each other, because your acceptance and our relationship means a lot to me. I think if you can give your sister that space and bring this up a couple of times in like a calm way and a loving way, see how that goes. If you've given her resources and if you've calmly tried to have these conversations for, you know, a month, 2 months, and she's just like, then it's time to start taking space from her. I hope that this helps you. I think that, like, you know, the long and short of it is, approach it gently and kindly and explain the things that I've laid out, why this means so much to you, right? You're not lecturing anyone. You're talking about things that like affect you. They affect you, not some abstract idea of a person. It's your life. And if you can talk to her about that in a calm way when you're not fighting, I hope that you see success. I think, you know, microaggressions, when we talk about microaggressions, they're really hard to talk to people about, because for the most part we're not taught about them as we're like when we're little. I mean, maybe kids now are starting to be taught about these smaller things that have huge impacts on people, but you know, when I grew up it was like, don't punch anybody, which really wasn't a problem for me, but you know, it was much more like physical dramatic acts of racism or homophobia, right? And if you didn't do those, then like you were a good person. But I think we're starting to pull out the fact that's not true. There's so much, there's all these little threads woven in to our everyday experiences, and it's not judgy, it's not shitty to talk about those things. It's actually so important. I think that it is the root, right? I think that once we pull out those little threads and start to look at them and say, why do we say this thing? Why do we act this way? Why do we behave in this way? That's when the bigger things, the violent things, start to also become uprooted, because they all come from in there. That's why I hope your sister listens to you. Okay, so I just answered advice from one of the YouTube comments. I'm gonna put a number here. This is weird. This is especially weird if there's not a number here, so sorry everyone. And you can call this number, you can ask your question with your voice, and then I'll answer it. So I'm really excited about that. Let me know what you'd like to hear from Allison, and I will see you soon, okay? Have a good day, week, month, year. I don't know how often you watch this channel. It's not somebody saying, hey, you're gay and you're dumb, which by the way would be my favorite moment in all time if that was an insult. Hey, you're gay and you're dumb.